Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's. All things summer, all at the right price.
Hey, Ola, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 16, episode number 3509. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery. And you are in the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV Time with Tim.
Click, clack, drink at the drunk.
All right, here we go. Man angry. He has to pay a bag fee at the airport, tells an airline attendant he has a bomb in there. Meanwhile, a dog isn't feeling too well after a hedgehog and he tried to have an affair. If you have an iPhone, the weather app will not tell you when it's 69 degrees. Hospital patient wondering if you could take that kidney out and give it back to me, please. And a Pennsylvania man in boxers drinking a Mountain Dew and holding a shovel tries to stab someone. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, there's an old saying that a mistake is only a mistake if you don't learn from it. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. For example, in Cleveland, a hospital issued an apology after they successfully transplanted a kidney. The mistake was that the kidney was meant for an entirely different patient. Maybe they learned something from that. I still chalk that up to a mistake, and that's pretty bad. But it's not as bad as taking the wrong person off of life support. Now, that's the situation for a woman in the Bronx. She took her brother off of life support only to find out that it was not her brother 3 weeks later. And as you might imagine, she has mixed emotions. She admits that she's happy that her brother is still alive, but feels kind of bad for killing someone else. And that's fair. But at least her goal was not to actually kill somebody. See, we'll save that kind of thing for a family in Houston, where a family of four, they were all charged with murder after they gunned down the wrong person. It was a revenge killing. They just managed to kill the wrong person. I'm going to go ahead and say that was a mistake, whether they learned anything or not. But look, we all make mistakes. Probably more than one mistake a day, but it's just not usually life or death stuff. Sometimes it's a small thing, like sending a text to the wrong person. You know, on yesterday's show, a listener, Suzanne, accidentally sent us a text intended for her husband. Her very, very lucky husband. But it was not a bad thing. A bad text would be like the Michigan boutique owner who texted his wife that he didn't want to hire a certain job applicant because he thought that the job applicant was simply too ugly for the job. But he accidentally sent the text to the job applicant saying,
Oh, not only did you not get the job, but now
because
you're ugly.
She's ugly.
Yeah, and you're ugly.
And right, you're not getting the
qualified,
job.
and you're ugly.
I wasn't going to tell you that you're ugly, but I accidentally sent that text. So now you know. But that's what we're talking about today, man. Like I said, everyone makes mistakes, 500 of them a day, no doubt about it. So today's question is, who had the most embarrassing screw-up or mistake that you know?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or a classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
I'm Glennon Doyle, author of Untamed and host of the podcast We Can Do Hard Things. Each week, we talk openly and honestly about the hard things in life together with you. So join us and some of our dearest friends and greatest heroes to talk about anxiety, boundaries, parenting, infidelity, our bodies, loving and losing, all of the things that make us human. Listen to and follow We Can Do Hard Things on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcasts.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the fellas, and away we go. Welcome to Season 16, episode number 3,509. What a large and frickin' in charge program we have for you today. This is a guaranteed future repeat. We know it. The exciting return of Who Sucks Less. I heard the stories today are pretty awful.
They're not awful, all right? They're not awful. They are, I believe Mike called it kind of an invasion of other people's space.
Huh.
They are strange.
Awful.
They're strange. Worse things can happen.
Nobody likes when people invade your space.
Oh, these people really, really, really invade your space.
Could you imagine coming home one day, somebody's in your apartment, your place, you know what I mean? They're brushing your teeth with their toothbrush. They got your boxer shorts on.
I think the best one I heard was a woman.
You'd lose your crap.
A woman came home to another woman who was naked in her bathtub eating Cheetos.
Yes, I mean, look, I
never heard
that.
Cheetos. Mm-hmm. That's the problem.
Right, yeah.
So she grabbed my goddamn Cheetos and took a bath and was waiting for me when I got home, except I didn't know her.
Before we get into the big program, big thanks to everyone who checked out the Men's Room Happy Hour, the debut yesterday exclusively on Odyssey. It's more Men's Room. Just search for the Men's Room on the Odyssey app or find it on KISW.com. And if you don't have the app, it's easy to download for free in the App Store and Google Play. You favorite the Happy Hour in your app, and you'll get all the updates, and you'll be able to listen as we go live with more Men's Room at 6 o'clock. Monday through Friday, we're going to do a very special segment that does not go on the air on KISW. Thank God, or we would still not have jobs.
That is correct.
But we do get to talk about things we normally don't get to talk to on the air. So the idea is, if you want to listen to that exclusive little nugget, the Men's Room Happy Hour, it is exclusively on Odyssey. Again, search the Men's Room and you'll see Men's Room Happy Hour. When you see that, favorite it, and you can do that right there in your app, and you are good to go. We'll do it again today. So thanks for all the emails and all the people that got a chance to listen. We appreciate it.
Got very good reviews. I believe our boss, the text he sent me afterwards, just said, lovely.
Lovely. We broke down the F word yesterday, which was
the history of the F word.
It's weird to cuss on a microphone. I mean, it just is. It's a strange thing.
It's super strange because it's the same studio.
Right. But it didn't take long to get over that hump.
It's real weird, though. We basically go from being on the air, and then, right at the end of the show, then we go and do a separate show on the Odyssey app where we can cuss, we can do whatever the hell we want.
It's like going to cable.
But, I mean, it's like, seriously, it's 30 seconds, man, and then all of a sudden, it's just like, game
history
over.
Of the F word.
It's like the children have to leave the room, and then we can talk finally.
It's the Adult Swim.
Yeah, it's not that I worry about.
What are you worried about?
Getting too comfortable cursing into these mics.
Oh, yeah.
I had the same concern. I woke up this morning going, man, do not just fly off at the mouth when you're doing the show, because you can't.
That might be an embarrassing screw-up, which is kind of what we're doing today on the question. Who had the most embarrassing screw-up or mistake that you know that's so smooth?
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah. We start in Cleveland, Ohio. An Ohio hospital has acknowledged that a patient received a new kidney meant for someone else. Can that even happen? Isn't that based on blood types and everything else? Don't you have to, I mean, there's kidneys available out there, but that doesn't mean it's the right kidney for you. Wasn't that Barry White's problem?
Well, that's what's going to be more problematic about this. So, I mean, I don't know what the blood types were for these kidneys. What if these people are very different blood types? That somebody basically has a poisonous kidney inside of them. Okay. And the other person just doesn't have the kidney they've been waiting for.
You can't take that kidney out and give it to the right person. Once it's in there, I mean,
I don't know how
but
they
took it out before. You took it out once.
Yeah, but it got tainted by the other dude. It's like basically like the person eating Cheetos in your bathtub. It's like,
But when
really
they cut open,
in there with them?
Didn't they notice the person already had a kidney where they were adding the extra kidney?
I'm going to look. I don't know the whole story with this. I would assume either that person is also waiting for a kidney.
Oh, I see.
Or they took out a perfectly healthy kidney from that person.
Well, let's find out. Officials at the University Hospital in Cleveland apologized for the mistake and said 2 employees have been placed on administrative leave. The kidney was given to the wrong patient. It is compatible. All right, there you go.
All right.
And the person is expected to recover. The other patient's surgery has now been delayed. Officials said the hospital is reviewing how the error occurred to prevent similar mistakes going forward. I wonder how the guy feels who got he got a kidney. That's all he wanted.
I'm okay with that.
But he cut line. I mean,
no,
you're on the waiting list.
Cut in line.
They gave it to the wrong person.
Right.
But they said, hey, you got to come in here. It's time to get your kidney, man. You're excited. This is something that's life and death more than likely. You've been waiting for a while.
Kidney transplant.
You finally get that call. You know what I mean? It's going to be a game changer, hopefully. And then all of a sudden you get to the hospital and they say, sorry, we gave it to the wrong person. We have offered our sincerest apologies to these patients and their families.
That doesn't mean anything.
Hospital spokesman.
Why don't you offer me a kidney?
They recognize
That's
that
what I mean.
They entrusted us with their care. Situation is entirely inconsistent with our commitment to helping patients return to health and live life to the fullest.
Except that guy.
Mm-hmm. The hospital has notified the United Network for Organ Sharing, which manages the national transplant system, of their error, which I guess is something that you need to do when you give somebody the wrong kidney.
I mean, so look, they gave it to the wrong guy, but the guy that got it at least is compatible, so he is going to have a good day.
Yeah.
You don't even if they tell him. Would you tell him?
Would I tell the guy?
The guy got the wrong kidney.
The guy who got the wrong kidney, would I tell him it was meant for someone else? They said they apologized to both families.
Oh, yeah, I guess they did.
So, I mean, they had to come out and say, like,
they
look.
didn't have to tell him that unless they planned on taking it back out. Like, hey, we made a mistake.
That's not an apology. That's good news and bad news. I've got good news, I got bad news. That's what that is.
No, that's all good news.
Both families, like the dude that got the kidney, or both families, like the family that gave the kidney and the guy that didn't get a kidney?
Well, typically.
It could be that. Typically, so the guy that got the kidney, there's no bad news. You can say, hey, we have good news, and then there's some bad news for someone else. You got the kidney you needed. It was successful. Your body's going to take it. It's the right blood type. Do you have to tell them? Well, just on a side note, it was supposed to go to someone else.
Okay, but it's different. Okay. Think of it this way, Ted. Let's look at it this perspective. Maybe if this was a scenario, it'd be worse. Like, so, let's just say that your buddy, one of your friends, Bernie, say Bernie needs a kidney.
Okay.
All right. You just happen to be the right type of donor to give Bernie the kidney.
Okay.
All right. So you say, like, Bernie, I'm going to do this for you, man. We've been friends forever. No problem. I'm going to fly to D.C. I'm going to give you a kidney. So you fly to D.C., you give Bernie the kidney. He's ready for the next operation, which is a day or two from whenever you get done.
All right.
But that kidney goes to some dude in Bowie, Maryland. You know what I mean? Who you don't even know.
I'm pissed.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So depending on the circumstances,
I should be pissed. But the dude in Bowie, he should be pumped. He just got a free kidney.
He got a free kidney. Well, still not free, but he just got one soon.
But when he comes up, like, he wants to meet you now. You know what I mean? He wants to give you a hug. He wants to tell you thank you. You know what I mean? And you're like, dude, this is supposed to be for Bernie, but here, man, bring it in. You know what I mean?
But he better take me to
because that's not a painful operation you got to go through.
But do you want to meet that guy at that point? Because, like, I don't want to meet the guy whose life I saved, right? Because he got.
And in the meantime, Bernie's condition is getting worse.
I was going to say, Bernie might die now.
Is dying. Right. I'm glad you got a kidney. I'm glad your family's happy, man. Yeah, thanks for the beer, but I'm going to be honest with you, man. If I had a scalp, I might cut that thing back out of you because I specifically did this for my buddy.
Yeah.
Could I demand something? Like, you need to send me a bushel of crabs every month for the rest of your life because you got my kidney.
Mm-hmm. I would think that's a fair deal. They have said, like, look, Ted, thank you for the kidney. I understand you meant this for someone else. I kind of feel bad about that. I feel bad for your friend. I do not feel bad for me. I will hook you up with that bushel of crabs every month because I got your kidney.
I don't think you can't. You have to be deceased, I believe, to give somebody a liver, right? So in that instance,
think so. You only got one liver,
right? Exactly. Right? So with Larry Hagman was an actor who was on. He was JR on Dallas.
Yeah, that was his big thing.
Did he do anything else besides that? Of note?
He did. Apparently, he was an actor that did a lot of stuff, but Dallas was such a huge TV show that it rendered all the rest of it.
So he was a big drinker, right? So, but he's on the list, so he gets a liver. All right, he gets a liver. 2 weeks later, they throw Larry a party at his favorite restaurant and bar,
right,
where all the drinks and food were on the house, and they all got hammered. That's how they celebrated Larry Hagman getting a new liver.
Didn't he get a second liver after that?
I don't know. I
think he destroyed. So he definitely got the liver transplant. I think by the time he ended up dying, he either got a second liver transplant or that one was on its way out because he kept drinking.
Yeah,
he didn't get a second transplant. He had a second liver and then drank.
Then he passed on. Yeah,
and then
he still drank,
but he kept drinking.
Yeah, because you can't just keep giving somebody a liver if they're not going to stop drinking on it.
By the way,
I mean,
as far as getting the kidney, someone here says basically when you get a kidney transplant, you actually get a third kidney. That's the normal thing. So they don't take one out and stick another one in.
Oh, all right. I'm glad we don't know that.
So you just got a big bulge of kidney in there?
You got a big bulge of kidney, but now the question goes back to the hospital. So you successfully did the kidney surgery. The guy has 2 kidneys. You stuffed this one in there. Do we know if the guy who got the kidney actually needed a kidney transplant or if he just ended up with a third kidney? Right? Because if the idea is that you already have the 2 that are in you, and traditionally they just stick one in with the other 2, then they wouldn't know. So he may have gotten like, dude, I got 3 kidneys, and I'm great with all of them.
Yeah, and this is going to sound horrible, but if you just have an extra kidney, like at that point, can you just roll the dice? They're always like, don't take aspirin with alcohol. It's bad for your kidneys. Like, screw it.
I should have a 1/3 chance better.
Police in Texas say 4 members of one family murdered an innocent man in a case of mistaken identity. The 4 were on the lookout for someone who had been vandalizing the property. And investigators say they chased the wrong man in their Houston area neighborhood. Those accused, and I swear to God, this sounds like Raising Arizona. You got a guy named Joe. He's 19. His mother, Florinda, who's 39, his father, Louis, and his uncle, Margarito. Wow.
Yes. Okay.
The victim is 29-year-old, back to Raising Arizona, Eddie Clark, who lived in the neighborhood, apparently drove the same type of car as the vandal that they had spotted earlier. Family says that for weeks, someone had been damaging their home and vehicles. They suspected a friend of their younger son's former girlfriend. The vandal drove a black Dodge Charger, according to investigators. Well, on Monday night, Clark drove his dark-colored Charger down that same street, and the 4 family members gave chase in 2 separate vehicles. Police say that the husband fired repeatedly at Clark's vehicle before it crashed into a tree. Clark got out and ran, but then collapsed, having been fatally shot. Seems like a tragic case of mistaken identity. All 4 face murder charges. This is an example of taking the law into your own hands and making a huge mistake, according to the officers. Not good. Our question, who had the most embarrassing screw-up or mistake that you know? 206-421-ROCK.
The texters out there, they've educated us once again. Larry Hagman, in addition to being on Dallas, before that was on another hugely successful TV show.
Was it I Dream of Jeannie?
It was I Dream of Jeannie.
Okay.
Oh.
And also, if you want to donate, so you don't donate your liver if you're still alive, but you could donate part of your liver. Because apparently both halves will go into a hole, and then also your liver will regenerate.
Now, if you give half your liver to somebody, right?
It's because I want to kill them.
Okay.
There's no way my liver...
If you give half your liver to somebody, right?
Yeah.
And you know that they've got a drinking problem, but you still give half your liver to them, all right? And you go see them and everything, and they look at you and go, man, when I get out of the hospital, can we go to the bar and just get a drink?
No. I'm not going with you, man. Do not tell me you're going to the bar.
It seems like a slippery slope, doesn't it?
It depends. Did I give them part of my liver?
You gave half your liver. Your liver's in terrible shape anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like you're almost putting yourself at risk.
If my liver is a step up for you because you have a drinking problem. You got a real bad drinking problem.
I'll take half your liver. You got that crazy blood.
You would take half of my liver?
Hell yeah. You got something weird going on with your blood. Like,
I don't know, crazy. Man. I mean, maybe my kidneys.
High, you know what I mean? Like, he's like on record for giving blood faster than anybody on the planet.
Yeah, that was a weird thing.
So, like, I'm sure you flush yourself out just fine. I'd take half your liver.
I don't know, man. I mean,
if I needed it.
Well, you have to assume I'd give it to you. Mm-hmm. I'd have to think about it.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to think about this, Miles. I don't know if I want to part with half my liver because remember, Ted gave his kidney to Bernie, and I went to that guy.
Would you take a fecal transplant from me?
From you? Because your butthole is fairly new. So, yes.
You would?
Yeah, after all those surgeries you did?
I don't know. I'd definitely take one from VD.
Yeah.
He eats a lot of veggies.
He eats a lot of veggies.
Yeah, but that's worse. I mean, that's...
What do you mean? He probably has the healthiest stool? Fecal matter. Yeah, the healthiest stool of anyone in this building.
How do you test that?
I don't know.
How do we test that? Now I'm curious.
Is there like a swab thing
I'm
we
serious.
can do?
Can I go to Rite Aid and find out? Can I buy 4 kits?
Right.
4 or 5 kits and find out who's got the best fecal matter in here?
Mike is looking it up right now.
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm telling you what, all we got to do is take a little stick and smear it on a piece of paper. You know what I mean? Just
that's what I mean.
Wouldn't it depend on what happened the day before?
I don't know. I think it's just, I think people who give their feces and get paid for fecal transplants,
all right,
they are like super donors.
Right. I mean, they still might eat some crap, but overall,
I'm just saying. I feel like on a Monday it's going to be a bad reading.
There's this one dude, man. He's like helped thousands,
especially if it's like a Monday in the fall after NFL football. Miles, we're not doing a test on a Monday.
If you get this guy's Duke, man, apparently, you know what I mean. You get better.
It makes everything better. Yeah.
They do actually make at-home stool tests. It says full gut microbiome analysis.
Okay.
All right.
Improve your gut health. So we could probably buy one and then bring it in here.
How much is that thing retail for there?
$160.
Jesus.
$60.
There's not one we can buy that's like, you know what I mean? Like just
they got one here that's $80.
Pee on a stick and find out if you're pregnant?
Well,
what about the reviews of the $80 one? I mean, why does it have to cost?
Let me find that one.
Do your fecal research for us, Mike.
Mike, do your fecal research.
Because the truth is, I really wanted to check out VD. Like, the guy's a vegetarian. He drinks...
Apparently that's very important to do, by the way.
What's that?
To check your fecal health, to make sure it's okay, to make sure your gut is all right, because it's correct. You can do things that will correct it. You know what I mean? And keep you from maybe having some kind of like, prostate or colon cancer or whatever. And your gut, too, as far as your stomach health is concerned.
All right, come on, VD. If we need a fecal transplant, you're our guy.
I don't think he's the winner.
Man, who do you think will win? Out of the 5 of us. Got 4 guys on the show in VD.
I'm going to go you again.
Me?
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
You ever follow me in the bathroom, dude?
You eat
that is not the smell of health.
You eat and you poop it out like a half an hour later.
I know. I'm like a chipmunk.
That's what I'm saying.
And his vitals are always good.
Right.
My vitals are always good.
Doctor always gets pissed off when he gives you a physical because you tell him what you do and you're in
I drink a lot of smoke, and they're so pissed they can't find anything wrong.
I swear to God, even though you've never eaten a vegetable in your life, I bet your fecal is much better than VD's fecal matter.
I hope it is. I really do.
Like now, will you just eat a steak with us?
Right.
If that's the case, if you win, all right, he's got to eat a steak, and if he wins, you got to eat a whole plate of blasted broccoli.
He likes that.
I don't like it. I just don't hate it.
Who had the most embarrassing screw up or mistake that you know? 206-421-ROCK.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu. Certified to operate by Chev.
99.9 KISW. Yeah! You're in the men's room.
Our question, Who had the most embarrassing screw-up or mistake that you know? 206-421-ROCK.
Just real quick, people are encouraging us to do the stool sample challenge. And also, we talked to VD because he wasn't sure what we were talking about, but he said he's in for the challenge.
He will eat a steak.
Said he will eat a steak if he loses.
Will you eat broccoli if you lose?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
I mean, that's it. He's a vegan. He does not eat meat. We'll take him out and we'll get him a big fat steak. We'll take him down someplace nice, like the Met.
Do I get something if I randomly win this one?
We'll just go along and drink and eat. You know what I mean?
Oh, here's VD now.
Oh, hello.
I just don't think there's any way in hell, Ted, that either one of us or Mike are going to do well in this.
No, I agree, but we're just putting it on these two. I'm like, well, what if...
No, I think everyone should be in.
Yeah,
Man. I mean,
we're all doing it.
I'm saying it's going to be either VD or Mike would be my guess would have healthy stool. I don't know why. VD, I make this assumption because of what you choose to eat in general.
I'm just going off the way the bathroom smells when Mike's done. You know what I mean? So he's eliminated.
You would think that with the way that thing smells.
Yeah, it smells like
he's done.
It smells like the barn where you go in and you pet the goats at the Washington State Fair.
Yes.
It smells like that.
Yes.
Mike's done.
Evergreen State Fair, Washington State Fair. It doesn't matter what fair it is. If there are animals involved, it smells like Mike's anus.
Yeah, it does.
Even if it's just stuff.
So I'm saying he's out. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think so.
I mean, I think you're in last place without question.
They might actually want him in the
Ted and
hospital
myself,
right away.
we're gonna run a tie for third somewhere in there. And then,
Again, depends for me on the day of the week.
Why are we doing it on a Wednesday?
well, it's the gut. I mean, the gut is
Wednesday, Thursday, I'm good.
That's what I'm saying. So does
Yeah.
Monday, different story.
Mondays are bad.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what matters. I really do. I think
We don't know.
I think your gut health is your gut health no matter what.
Well, why
And
don't
that's
we do one
when
on
you do
Monday
it-
and then one on a Thursday? Right? We'll see.
Mike walked down to my studio and he's asked me, he goes, oh, I bet your poop smells. I'm like, it doesn't actually. Like any body, the digestive tract gets used to what you put through it.
Right.
For example, when Thrill brings his dairy bombs in, what happens? He blows this place up. When he doesn't
I
bring
make
them
fun
in,
time.
he doesn't blow this place up.
Right.
So your body gets used to what you consume. Mike,
Oh, I see.
It
I see
would
what you're saying.
seem doesn't consume anything with any sort of regularity because it is just a sewage swamp.
That's why I'm the healthiest, because I'm throwing curveballs at my
I
gut all the
don't
time.
think
I'm
so.
ready for anything, man.
Your whole body is confused.
I could digest an aluminum can in this thing.
I believe
I'd
you.
like to see
Well,
that.
believe it or not, we know a doctor. We do know. We do have a show doctor that we can call in if we have to.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we do. We do. Dr. Schuster.
We got poop for you.
Yeah, we got it. He was the guy who did our Stand to Be Counted challenge. He was the one who kind of monitored that for us. You weren't here for that, were you?
No, I was not.
That was a good time.
Wear sweatpants, no underwear. See if you're getting arrested.
So here's what we did. We all took on a Friday afternoon. We all took a male enhancement pill.
But one was placebo.
One was a placebo. The other was Viagra. The other was a Cialis, which is like a 3-day weekender.
Okay.
And then there was one
What
more
was the other one?
at the time that I can't remember.
Was it one of the dumb ones like the one that made Bob smile?
It was like
Extends
if you,
or something?
No, it was kind of like if
No,
you,
there was three big ones there for a while. Cialis, Viagra, and
We're talking about the pill.
Yeah, it was like if you were diabetic or something, there was a couple different reasons why you couldn't take Viagra. So they had another one that you could take depending on your blood and everything else. But so anyway, it turns out that I got the weekender.
Right.
I got the 3-day weekender.
Yeah, the Cialis.
I had no idea I got the weekender. You know what I mean? Because I was married.
Did you figure it out that weekend?
So no, because I was married. So absolutely not. So no, I took the best one, and then
And did not get lit.
No,
And did nothing
hell
about
no.
it.
Hell no. I was almost going to just take the placebo because I know I was wasting a pill.
Cialis.
Cialis. That's it.
I thought we said that.
Did we?
Cialis. No, we didn't.
Viagra
Cialis,
or
Viagra, and no.
Sildenafil, isn't that one of them?
No, there's one more. There is one more.
I don't think it's around anymore. But
Levitra?
there was like the big.
Does that sound
three.
right? Levitra? I don't know. Either way.
Oh yeah, there is Levitra.
He was the doctor that held us responsible for that. And I've got on good authority that he would love to come on the show and do crap. So I know for a fact that
He literally will do that.
yeah,
Do
I mean
crap.
seriously, because he's going to have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
All right,
he-
our question.
is he swabbing us?
Game on. No, you basically we're going to buy a kit.
We swab each other.
And then,
Cool.
yeah, with a tongue depressor. You know what I mean? You just bend over. We got a little Vaseline and take care of business. And then you put that on the thing, and I guess you mail it in probably to the laboratory. And then they take a sample, then they mail it back to you and let you know what's going on with your gut.
I hope they don't mail it back to me. Just tell me the results.
Yeah, just the result.
I don't need that back.
No. Have you ever had to take any into your doctor?
Not for me. The dog, I've taken the big poop samples from the dog.
Yeah, it's not really it's not bad.
They only told me you did not need to bring all of it.
But you know what, Ted? It's going to ruin you. Remember when you were talking earlier about those ice cream cups that you like so much that had the little wooden stick that you ate with?
Yeah.
It's the same wooden stick.
Yeah, basically.
it's a tongue depressor.
Yeah, it's the same wooden stick. All right, our question. Game on. Who had the most embarrassing screw-up or mistake that you know? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Roberto. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. A friend of mine, we were kids, probably about, mid-1980s. We were teenagers, but my buddy put a firecracker. We were playing with firecrackers, and he put a firecracker in a big pile of dog crap. And he lit it. We all ran. It go off, and we're like, what's up with that? So we went and checked it out, and the fuse was super short. I mean, it was like really short, and he's like, oh, that's cool. I'll just light it real quick. And he lit it. Bam. And he was just covered with dog poop. I mean, on his face. And it was a hot summer day, so he's like, no shirt on, shorts, and he had poop on his chest. He was spitting it out. He had some in his mouth and his hair. He was just like covered. And we just laughed.
Yeah. So how long did you laugh?
How long did we laugh?
Yeah.
Probably for at least 5 minutes.
Okay. There's not a lot of positive fireworks stories. You know what I mean? Like,
that's one.
Yeah.
I mean, normally when you hear a fireworks story, it does not go well.
Well, no, if you have a story about fireworks, something went wrong. Otherwise, you just saw fireworks.
Yeah.
If you have a story about it.
But you don't talk about it if everything goes as planned.
That's what I mean.
You know, it's
There's nothing exciting about that. I saw fireworks. Like, the best fireworks I saw was, we were at your place, and the barge caught on fire and blew all the fireworks off at once. This was a mistake, but that's the only fireworks show I ever talk about because it was also amazing.
Right. And then there was one time where a whole barge didn't blow up. So like 1 o'clock in the morning after everything was done and all the cars were else, they blew up that whole entire barge.
Yeah, they shot off the rest of them.
Yeah, which was an impressive display.
Again, because something had gone wrong. When they go right, you just kind of go, yeah, those were fireworks. Although putting a firecracker in poop, you have to know that's going to import.
Depends on, it's like, is this an M80? You know what I mean? Like, that's a pretty big explosion.
But I mean, firecrackers themselves, like, people are used to seeing them all strung together.
Yeah.
With, like, a long fuse. If you just have one firecracker, it's a tiny little fuse.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Who had the most embarrassing screw-up or mistake that you know? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
All right, so when I was a kid, maybe about 5 or 6, and my brother older than me, we were living on a military base, and my dad had a bunch of old MREs, so he and his friend decided that they were going to take all the matches out of the MREs. And then we went kind of by the park, and there were a bunch of bushes, and this was in Oklahoma, so they stuffed a bunch of grass and paper in a plastic cup and decided to light the matches in the plastic cup. And it's plastic, so there's fire, so the plastic melts, and then I look back, and the whole field is on fire.
You did this, or your dad did this?
My brother did it.
Brother.
Your brother.
And when you say, how big was this field that's on fire?
I want to say at least half an acre, if not more.
And did anyone realize that you guys were responsible for this, or did you get away with it?
We did. I didn't get in trouble because I didn't want to be there. But my brother got in trouble because his friend ratted him out.
That means his friend got busted.
Look, man, when you're a kid, you don't realize how important it is to keep your mouth shut. You know, it takes a few times before you go, you know what? I can't tell anybody no matter what. No matter what.
Once you learn that lesson, it's a very valuable lesson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, Miles, or my buddy Leon and I, after we kidnapped that dude, we were like, all right, man, 7 years, we cannot tell anyone because that's the statute of limitation. 7 years later, we were okay to tell the story, only for someone to inform me there was no statute of limitations on that.
Well, look, I'm talking about basic stuff, too. I mean, like when you're a kid, my buddy hooked up with this girl, right?
All right.
And I think he was the first person out of our group that ended up, making out, whatever they did. It was, the teenagers stuff, whatever that was. I don't think they did everything. They just did whatever they wanted to do. Anyway, so he told a couple of our friends, and so then before you know it, the entire school knows.
Of course.
The entire class knows. Everybody knows. And now, because of this, she is so mad at him that he was not allowed to make out with her anymore, and she did not want to be his girlfriend or his boyfriend or whatever the deal was. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
It happened to my buddy Buzz once.
So?
Same thing, 4th grade. You shouldn't have kissed Wendy. Right. Everybody knew.
So what I did was, the first time that I ever had the same situation happen to me, but mine wasn't like too crazy. It was like, I think I touched a boob.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But this to me was groundbreaking stuff. You know what I mean? This was
you're Neil Armstrong. You're walking on the moon.
I couldn't believe it. This was just the highlight of my life. This is crazy. You know what I mean? I could not believe it really happened to me. And I knew I could tell no one. Yeah. Because if I did, then I lost the keys to the car.
But you wanted to tell people, didn't you?
I wanted to tell everyone. I want to go to the top of a mountain and scream, I touched a boob!
Right.
You know what I mean? But I would be afraid the whole school would know. And then the girl, Susan, she would come back and say, you absolutely will never make out with me again.
You ruined my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's talking about me.
And that's how you learn to keep your mouth shut. You can't tell friends a lot of things because they just will get on the phone and call someone right away. I gotta tell you this, man. Yeah, can you believe it? Who had the most embarrassing screw up or mistake that you know? 206-421.
That still happens in adult life, though. Some people tell too much, and then sometimes you tell something to somebody, and you go, it's like, it's not a big deal, but like, I don't want to explain this.
Yeah,
I was just excited. It was a random thing. We're not getting married.
Yeah.
Sorry if I misled you with proposing.
I'm simply it's Saturday, it's 3 p.m. You're wondering why I'm so happy. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah. Yep. I can figure that out. Hello, Sean. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, this happened not too long ago. I was having a party. We had my fiance's family in town from the East Coast. And we've been talking about my buddy Matt and his wife Melissa having a baby here at the end of August, actually. And my mother-in-law got Melissa confused with our friend Madison. And we're all sitting around the fire, and Corey looks over and goes, so when are you pregnant, or when are you due? And then Madison just ends up kind of looking around going, I'm not pregnant. And it was dead silent until they left, and then my brother Chris goes, oh my God, you are a legend. She said that she would never do it, but she ended up breaking her rule and asking when you were due, and she just kind of put on some happy relationship weight.
See, that's what I was going to ask. If you're real thin and you ask the question, no one's getting offended. But if you put on weight and then someone, when do you do? Mm-hmm. And that is our one golden rule. Even if the woman is 9 months pregnant and she's in the wheelchair at the hospital and the head has breached, I still will not ask if you're pregnant.
No.
Just because someone else will be like, no, I'm not. This is a cyst. You just have no idea.
Yeah, right. I'm passing a kidney stone.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I used to always wonder about that as a kid because, you go to the grocery store with some of your parents and there's an obviously pregnant woman there and she has another little kid and my dad would always look at me like, don't say anything.
No.
I was always like, why? She's obviously pregnant.
Matter of fact, it can be worse than that. You don't say anything until you see a picture of the baby, until the baby for a fact has a name. I mean, there are plenty of terrible things that can happen during a pregnancy. So, you see somebody, I've seen people before that were pregnant, and then, you see them and they're not pregnant, and then,
found out they didn't give birth.
Right, or whatever the deal is.
I've been down that road. I'm like, jeez, last time I saw her, she was pregnant.
Something horrible happened, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, God. And then oh, my God. You know what I mean? You feel.
But see, that's when your wife comes in very, very handy. Because whoever is coming over to your house, they know the rundown. So you'll get this itinerary of things that you just should not even bring up. Like, hey, don't ask about Roger. Don't ask her about the pregnancy. Mm-hmm. Don't ask her about her puppy. And don't ask her about ice cream. And I always just say, okay. I never say why, because deep down I don't care. But I'm like, good looking out. Because those are the first 4 things I was going to say to your friend.
That actually happened to my grandma at my sister's wedding. There was somebody there that I would swear up and down was pregnant. This woman had a slender build, but she had this bulge there on the front. She looked like a small person that had gotten pregnant. And I, knowing what I know now, did not say anything ever toward this person. But my grandmother wouldn't stop making comments about, you got a bun in the oven. Looks like you swallowed a watermelon seed. My sister kept trying to deflect the conversation. She's got this massive doggone mass that's sitting in her stomach. I don't know if I don't know how serious it is, but obviously the fact that it looks like she's pregnant is not a good thing. But yeah, you'd swear up and down that this woman actually was pregnant. It's not an offense on anything whatsoever, but she just has this mass in the front.
Now, what did she say to your grandmother?
She kept very, very quiet and let my sister do what she was doing as far as deflecting the conversation.
I see. All right.
There's other ways, too.
What do you mean?
Like, if you're in a group of people and you haven't seen people in a while, like, just ask some of the other women, like, you know, especially if they have kids, like, how's everything going? Anybody else pregnant? Or, you know what I mean? Just kind of feel out questions, right? But I mean, like, it happened to me the other day. I was literally across the street out front. There was a woman who was very small, but obviously, like, 8th, 9th month. And I thought in my head, I wouldn't ask her still.
Don't say.
Right? I mean, she's walking like her back, like she looks like she's about to pop, but on my head, I was like, still don't ask.
I wouldn't ask you if babies are us.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Even when my wife told me she's pregnant, I'm like, I'm not even going to bring it up again until we have the goddamn kid. Like, somehow, it'll still be the wrong question.
Who had the most embarrassing screw up or mistake that you know? 206-421-ROCK.
That's how sensitive it gets. Hello, Ryan. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, Ryan.
Ryan. And no Ryan.
Goodbye, Ryan. Hello, Ski. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
So, the first time my now wife met my dad, we were going to the grocery store. On the way back, my dad crapped his pants.
He crapped his pants?
Yes.
Is this something he does with any regularity, or was this the first time that you knew your dad to crap his pants?
So I knew he had stomach problems, but that's the first time I know that he's crapped in his pants.
Okay, that's horrible.
All right. Yeah. What does your then girlfriend say about this?
We knew he was embarrassed, so it's me, my wife, both of his brothers, all in the car, holding it last.
Okay.
Second he gets out to go, clean up, we're all dying. My stepmom's yelling at us, cursing at us, and we're like, it's funny.
How bad does this car smell now? Because it's one thing to crap your pants, but then all of you are trapped in the car with them.
Pretty bad. It was like windows down automatically, but it was still pretty bad in there.
Okay. And was it just deadly silent after this?
Yes.
I bet it was. You can't do it. I mean, the problem is you're around other people.
You got to turn up the radio or something,
I got to pull into a McDonald's to see if I can clean up. Something's got to happen here. I do remember you said furniture store. This was the one that just this actually was the end of a relationship for my uncle. All right, I've told the story before, but he was mortified. So
this is the dumb chick.
Yeah, he's living in Arizona at the time. Okay, and my uncle is a single guy, and he meets this girl at a bar. All right. And she is a stewardess for, I think it was American Eagle Airlines. All right. They're a subsidiary. Somebody obviously swallowed him up like everybody else. But either way, she was close to his age, and she was absolutely beautiful. I mean, beautiful to the point where I was like, oh, my God, Uncle Bill, how did you pull this crap off, right? So they decide that they're going to, eventually, as time goes on, they're thinking about moving in together. So, like anything else, he needed new furniture. She was thinking about moving into his place for a while, whatever. Yeah. She's on the road a lot, not a big deal. He needs new furniture. Well, they had this thing down there where if you go, it's kind of like Costco. It's not really it's not an expensive membership, but it's like $50. And then this furniture warehouse gives you incredible deals on furniture. All right. Incredible deals. Sure. Okay. Anyway, so they had to go to this presentation, and there's like 50 people. All right, on a Saturday, and they're all in this room, and this guy's, he's leading the charge. He's telling everybody what they can expect, telling them the difference between buying mattresses there, buying beds there, all the different costs, and then all of a sudden he's wheeling this stuff out. Like, take for an example, this armoire and all these things, and this dining room table, and blah 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 blah. And she's sitting there, and he says, "All right, I got a question for you. Do you see this sectional sofa? All right." Let's just say that if you walk into any regular furniture store, that this sectional sofa will be, I don't know, $5,000. Here at the warehouse, what do you think you could get it for? And she raises her hand. And he goes, yes. And she goes, I'll say 10 grand. and my uncle just slumped down in his chair. And he's like, I just wanted to get the F out of it. I just wanted to leave. And then 2 days later, I told her we couldn't move in. He's like, because I still couldn't get it out of my head that she couldn't figure out that we were going to save money at the warehouse instead of spend twice as much.
She was too stupid for.
That's all it was. He was in love with her. And she just broke his heart in the furniture. He was so embarrassed. He's like, my face turned red. I just grabbed her arm. We had to move to a different place and we just left.
Broke up because she's too stupid.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. How much did you spend on this sofa? Say it's $5,000. What do you think you're going to get for it? $10,000. Real excited. Everybody just looked at her.
I like that she raised her hand.
I know.
I got this.
Mine was just, he said, I slowly melted in my chair so no one could see me. Who had the most embarrassing screw up or mistake that you know? 206-421-ROCK.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.